The world is still battling the coronavirus crisis. COVID's origin, China, is accused of not being truthful about various aspects of the pandemic's outbreak and its source, but appears to have overcome the crisis for the time being. Now, it's also accused of trying to expand its territory by the well-documented expansionist mindset of the Chinese Communist Party. China has already fired up the tensions as it's also looking to seize areas of Japan and Taiwan. Hello everyone, welcome to World of China. In today's video, we're talking about Japan's recent action against the Chinese army preferring the Taiwan issue. Things getting heated, so stay tuned with us and make sure you hit the subscribe button. Tensions between China and Japan over the conflicted Senkaku Diaoyu Islands continue to grow as both countries develop their military skills, especially their radar and missile systems in the region. To avoid unexpected clashes in the air and sea, China and Japan announced a new crisis communication hotline in June 2018. However, Japan's Ministry of Defense reported that the number of times Japan's military had to scramble jets in response to Chinese air invasions went down 41% in 2017. That number increased in 2018 and is on trend to continue increasing in 2019. In December 2017, Lockheed Martin signed a $944 million deal to deliver Patriot Advanced Capability 3 and PAC-3 missile segment enhanced missiles to the US and allied countries. According to reports, the upgraded PAC-3 embassy boosts its firepower as it increases its height and performance. The PAC-3 embassy is a high-velocity interceptor that detects incoming threats in advance, including tactical ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and aircraft. Recently, Japan has built new military bases on nearby islands, allegedly to monitor the Miyako and Tokara Straits and block China from further expanding its military capacities in the region. Japan's defense ministry is reportedly preparing to deploy missile units on an island 300 kilometers off the coast of Taiwan in an attempt to counter China's expanding marine behavior in the area and defend against a possible Chinese attack. The Japan News reported that Tokyo plans to deploy Ground Self-Defense Force or GSDF missile units on the island of Ishigaki, which is only 306 kilometers from Taiwan International Airport. The news service mentioned sources familiar with the trouble, saying that the new units will be installed next year and be defended by 500 to 600 Japan Self-Defense Forces or SDF troops. The installation of new units will make Ishigaki the fourth island in the Nansei Island chain to be armed with missiles. The island chain runs southwest from Kyushu to Taiwan, located on the vital first island chain that extends from the Kuril Islands in the north to Borneo in the south. One of the new units will reportedly include surface-to-ship and ground-to-air missiles, while another unit will control the first reaction to a military attack. The missile batteries on Ishigaki will join existing units on Amami Oshima, Okinawa, and Miyako Islands. The People's Liberation Army Navy, or PLAN, has frequently been patrolling the Miyako Strait between Okinawa and Miyako Islands, including warships such as the Liaoning aircraft carrier. Japan's missile installations are meant to serve as a deterrent and are within range of disputed territories such as the Diaoyu Islands or Senkaku Islands. In addition, the Japanese Defense Ministry is reportedly planning on installing an electronic warfare unit on Yonaguni Island by the end of 2023 and building a new SDF base on the island of Magishima. Currently, Japan and the US are leading continuous vigilance and monitoring in the East China Sea and sharing information. Consequently, if the US deploys troops in the region of Taiwan, both Japan and the US will extend their vigilance and surveillance in the East China Sea, or depending on the concentration of US troops around Taiwan, the SDF will reinforce its current vigilance and surveillance in a supplementary method. If the US focuses its forces in the waters around Taiwan, supply support for the troops will be essential. If the situation turns tight, one cannot expect the Asian countries, which are concerned about their association with China, to permit US ships to make port calls for supplies. The US force may stop in Taiwan, but if their deployment is extended, they'll need supply support at the sea. In this case, Japan's support will be essential, as it can send supply forces back and forth from nearby Okinawa. For the SDF to provide supply support to US forces, authorities must declare an important influence situation. Additionally, the declaration of an important influence situation allows for proper central organizations other than the SDF to take response measures, and requests for cooperation from entities other than the government can be made. If the circumstances evolved into armed friction, The important influence situation would continue if already declared, or one would be declared if it had not been so already. Japan would assist the US forces that have become party to the conflict. However, under an important influence situation, the SDF will be unable to take response measures at the site of actual combat operations, nor will it be able to defend US forces due to the SDF law. But with the reported threat of China's anti-ship missiles, missile protection by the SDF will be an important form of support. Therefore, if the protection of US forces is required, it's necessary to immediately declare a survival-threatening situation, whether the situation turns tight or leads to armed conflict. Following these concerns, there are also worries about the delayed deployment of US military forces in response to China's growing military power. According to a comparison of US and Chinese forces in the Western Pacific as of 2025, China is expected to have 3 aircraft carriers deployed to the US-1, 108 multifunctional warships to the US, 12, 6 times as many submarines, and 9 times as many warships. Concerning fighter jets, China has 1,250 fighters compared to the US 250, and it plans to have 1,950 by 2025, nearly 8 times more than the US total. Additionally, China's ballistic missiles also pose a major threat to marine forces approaching the area. Analysts say China is developing what are known as anti-access and area denial or A2AD capabilities around first island chain choke points to prevent US forces from intervening in the regional conflict, most likely over Taiwan. However, as strategists predict, Chinese carriers and warship will deploy to the east of Taiwan during a conflict rather than enter the narrow Taiwan Strait. Japan's A280 capabilities could play a significant role in countering enemy vessels from reaching the Pacific. Recently, Tokyo has sent formal and informal signs preferring the preservation of Taiwan's democracy, closely linked to its national security. The Chinese Foreign Ministry has protested what it considers interference in its internal affairs. Reports say that China can launch what it termed soft and hard electronic attacks, including barring communications across the western part of the first island chain, the string of islands that run from the Japanese archipelago through Taiwan and down to the Philippines. China can combine with its internet army to launch wired and wireless attacks against the global internet, which would initially paralyze air defenses, command of the sea, and counterattack system abilities, presenting a huge threat to the opponent. China has also improved its surveillance abilities using Beidou, China's answer to the US-owned GPS navigation system. This means Beijing can monitor movements around Taiwan, helped by China's regular use of its spy planes, drones, and intelligence-gathering ships. So now, if we examine the issues and facts that need to consider in Japan's response to a Taiwan crisis and pose some questions regarding their intention. As previously mentioned, China holds the military advantage in the Pacific, and it'll be difficult for the US military to address a situation on its own. And the international society and world leaders can try to avoid a direct military collision between China and Taiwan to pay greater attention to the survival of Taiwan. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching the video. Give this video a big thumbs up and let me know your thoughts in the comment box. For more exciting videos, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon for notifications. I'll be back with another exciting video soon. Till then, check out our channel for more exciting videos and stay tuned.